I wasn't ready. Old Greg wasn't ready. That's me. I'm old Greg. Goodness me. Yikes. Sheesh. Are you getting dizzy? Are you getting dizzy? You're dizzy. There's stuff. Gibbo! Wow, so weird to be out of the store and back in this specific chair. It's so funny. I started in this chair. Hello! Hi, Trevor. I am going to have a beautiful day. It is going to be a beautiful day. A beautiful day is going to be had. I trust you will as well. I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. No, we're not going to. We're not going to. We're going to limit ourselves even on the tea, Cheyenne. Even on the tea. No more. It's crazy what like this much discipline does for somebody. For a person. Good to see you. Aw. I know, it feels like it's been forever. I mean, I'm actually in this chair all the time, but I'm not live in this chair or reading as often as I was. Tap the screen, you guys. Tap the screen. There we go. Why the screen is not my neighbor. What? Okay, I hope you and your family are abundantly blessed and prosperous. Thank you. Hello, shorty. Why the screen is not my neighbor's wife? I don't understand. My name is Yannick, and it's in your name. Oh, haha, that's funny. I get it. Like if you moved everything around. And everyone remains in good and perfect health. Amen. Thanks. I was like, you should do that. And I was like, you know what? We will do it later. You said tap the screen, so I asked why the screen. Oh, that is so funny. Aw, you want to see my outfit? Maybe later when I'm doing my stuff, you will see it. Like and subscribe to see my outfit later when I go live for my goals. Anyways, let me get my book. We are reading today. We're reading today. This looks like Morticia from the Addams Family. Cool. Thanks, Elvis. I love cosplaying her. So that is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I bought this chair. This was one of my Mother's Day presents to myself a few years ago. I actually had a room back then. Jim Coke. What? All right. You silly goose. I have a goal. Oh, what? Aw. Is my last video blocked? Can anybody go see if my last video of my pictures, it's like my camera roll. Can you see if that video is up? It's my it'll say like my camera roll. I just got an alert that so silly. I see all these other creators doing that and being able to use other sounds, but if I use another sound, then I get like a copyright. Oh, I cosplay a lot. But right now we're reading Elvis, so you'll have to come back when we talk about that type of stuff. I also have ADHD, so I want to stay on track. But sometimes I can get off track. What a little crazy will do for you. Holler for help. Understand your audience. Oh goodness. I'm not retaining this book as much as I would have liked to. That's boo. If you like books, then I am unliking. Oh, okay. Well, goodbye. Thanks, Superman. I hope you have a great day. All right. Everybody that wants to be here for the reading, that's awesome. If you have things to do for the day, I hope that you have a spectacular day. One day, I told my bailiff that I was going to buy a neon sign that said, "What's wrong with you people?" That way, at the appropriate moment, let's say 5 or 6 times a day, I could press a button, light up a sign, and then just send everybody to jail. Quite a time saver, I suggested. And it would certainly keep me from having to repeat myself. Of course, I wasn't serious. They have rules about the dignity of judicial office that frown on that kind of thing. Lack of practicality notwithstanding, the idea helped put things in perspective for me and allayed some of the more compelling but less than judicial urges, like the occasional impulse I had to smack some poor soul who had no way of knowing that he was the 6th guy that day to say, "Yeah, I hit him, but it wasn't my fault." Let me tell you what he said. These are the defendants who make a judge shake her head and ask, "What in the world were you thinking?" Which is, of course, a very silly question since most misbehavior occurs because those involved simply weren't thinking at all. Why, you might wonder? Am I bothering to discuss the people I met in court? What you might think, do they have to do with you? After all, you have never drop-kicked your neighbor's dog or smacked your grandma with a chair. I contend, however, that while my clientele's problems are somewhat spectacular, they were caused by emotional failures we all engage in regularly. And I believe if we search for ourselves in them, despite the exceptional nature of their troubles, we can profit from costly lessons learned completely free of charge. Based in biology, egged on by society, and often altered by the prevailing view of things, most bad situations start with a few simple emotions that have stood the test of time. As a result, I believe that my clientele's antics are instructive if you pay less attention to the what and concentrate on the why. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that last night. It's still bothering me. It still bothers me. Yeah. It's bothering me that I didn't seek to understand more. I really would have gotten maybe an answer, but I'm pretty sure more people will be like, say the same thing that woman said, because like I said, that's been a normal reaction. So next time I will do better than yesterday. The first thing you have to do in order to learn from others' errors is take a good look at the context of our times. Every society has trends, tendencies, and a unique way of doing things. You have to know what river you're swimming in so you can decide whether or not you should swim with or against it. Americans, for example, have an awful lot of stuff. We live lives of ease. Lives people in many other countries can hardly imagine. Food abounds, healthcare, though expensive, is quite good. Things aren't perfect for all of us, but compared to how we lived 50 years ago, Americans live lives of incredible yet often unrecognized ease. As a result, we now have the time to get very worked up about stuff that really shouldn't rate. Road rage, air rage, parents killing one another at badly officialed hockey games. Today, too many people rush to court if they don't get their way. They sue everything and everybody when they don't get what they want. Remember that Tennessee's school I mentioned, which was threatened with a lawsuit when it posted its honor roll on the wall? In response, the school district decided that no school should post its honor rolls. Another father in New York went to federal court in an effort to get his teenage son's wrestling call overturned. This is just the tip of the iceberg, people. I watched in amazement from the bench as the tide of tirades swamped my court. I soon realized that a lot of very ordinary people are roaming around out there just one comment away from raising the roof on a completely ordinary situation. One 60-year-old woman came in after having assaulted a woman who ditched her in line. She actually jumped on this woman in the parking lot and hung on her neck. Another day, I had a whole neighborhood in court when a rude 11-year-old got into it with an immature store clerk. The next thing you know, a whole group of grown men were squaring off with each other in the parking lot. These kinds of situations are glaringly extreme, but they arise too often to be no more than just individual mistakes. We have, I believe, established a culture of desire and demand that fails to recognize both responsibility and dumb luck. It seems we have a hard time looking in the mirror when we are looking for someone to blame. We have an "it's not my fault" mentality that threatens to render us perpetual quests on Dr. Phil. What does that mean? When, as a society, we become used to getting things without maintaining a corresponding sense of responsibility, we end up with a 2-year-old's perspective on the world. Everyone begins to believe that the world most certainly and appropriately revolves around them. And when you feel that way, when things don't go your way, you feel not just surprised, but insulted. Now sure you haven't pounced on someone for ditching you in line. I also doubt you have gotten into a street fight because someone was rude to your kids. What? You don't want those?
No, I want them.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm reading.
What are you reading?
I'm reading a book, Twinkle Toes.
Your sister coming?
No, my sister's not coming. I think she has to watch babies today.
Your sister Annie's coming?
My sister Annie isn't coming.
Oh.
Yeah. That's your aunt, you know that? That's your TT?
Oh. No, it's Annie.
Yes, it is Annie. That's our Annie, but she's your aunt. That's your Aunt Annie. All right, kiddo, can you go shut that door for me? Hook and Boot 911. What's up? Twinkle Toes. That's what Toph called Aang in Avatar, The Last Airbender. However, you still must ask yourself whether this particular effective error is lurking somewhere in your own backyard. You always have to ask yourself, am I getting carried away by some cultural current of some kind? Are my decisions really mine, or have the moods of those around me told me what to think? For instance, whenever something goes wrong, do you look first for the mistake you made? For instance, whenever something goes wrong, or are you more prone to scan for what everyone else did wrong? Do you complain about what's going on to and around you without even offering an answer? Oh my goodness. Of course, other people's errors aren't just about the culture and the time we live in. They're about all of us as individuals and how perceptive and controlled we are. This is, of course, not the kind of thing that will take care of itself. You have to pay attention to your emotional life and how it's shaping who you are. You have to ask yourself all day long, am I thinking or am I feeling? In doing so, you must focus on the real cause of your dismay and how your own perceptive may have colored things. Are you carrying extra weight or extra debt because you can't walk past the way you feel in order to do what you need to do? Have you said one more time won't matter so often that now it really does? That one. That one. The fasting is why, like, that first day of fasting was so hard. But day 2 of fasting, I'm like, we got this. We're done with the little cheap dopamine hits. We don't need one more. We don't need one more day. We don't need one more anything. We don't need one more cookie. We are good. But I do like cookies, but that's okay. We don't need a cookie, and we don't need to start a cookie business, and we don't need any more self-care things. Oh. Uh, and what about all of the things you know you ought to be doing but can't seem to get done? Do you have explanations for things left unaccomplished that may not be as reasonable as you try to make them sound? You must decide to get comfortable with whatever's wrong with you. Have you taken that good look in the bathroom mirror? Or is everyone around you telling you the same thing, but you remain convinced that they're all wrong? Do you believe that the only reason they don't agree with you is because they are not standing in your shoes? And if so, have you considered that the only thing unique about your footwear is the way they make you feel? Ultimately, the question is simply this: how much responsibility do you take for the things that happen to you? In a society that now brings lawsuits to recover for our own decisions as to what we smoke and eat, have you fallen into the false comfort of believing that so much of what ails you is really beyond your control? Or do you simply go with how you feel and think up explanations later? What's When something unexpected goes wrong, do you wait for the rush to go away before you decide what you should do? You ought to ask yourself these questions whenever you see other people's lives go awry. Read the stories I offer here about the kinds of people I saw in my courtroom. Even if you do not see yourself when reading about their problems, you should still ask yourself whose life could not be a little better and a little bit more in control. For instance, Can you work with just about anybody at home or at work? Or does your ability to conduct business depend on the person with whom you're dealing? Are you the cool breeze in a heated situation? Are you the most flammable material there? Are you capable of pulling up the better part of yourself when circumstances demand? Or do you find that the worst of you normally ends up handling the unexpected and unpleasant? Even beyond handling potential explosive situations, there is an art to feeling well. Wouldn't you like to avoid experiencing the interpersonal irritations that, short of taking up residence in a cave, no one can ever hope to completely avoid? Better yet, wouldn't you like to be able to walk north in a crowd of people running south and not become concerned? Don't you think that alone and okay is something worth working for? It's a good question. The question is this: how well do you function in a world that more often than not does not function well? In the following chapters, I have categorized some of the more common emotional mistakes that brought people into my court. I will then point out where these people went wrong by violating one of my mother's rules. Afterwards, I will supply you with the rules themselves, in hopes that you will see a bit of yourself in where my clientele went wrong. I love how she honored her mother with this book. That is just so freaking cool. Judge is literally so awesome. I have like, it's like I'm trying to breathe while I'm reading, and it's like I can feel like in here there's like I can't like I can swallow, but it feels like there's like slime. That's probably too much information. But I'm just saying, if I sound nasally, I'm sorry. The rules, the commandments of culture. I'm like struggling. A culture, like a crowd, has a personality of its own. When we get together, we do things we would never consider doing on our own. Even once in a while, you have to stop and make sure the rising tide of a ridiculous but popular held opinion is not rising around you. These rules are designed to help you see when that particular dam is about to break. Hi, Darren. Rule number 27. Beware entitlement inflammation. Beware entitlement inflation. My mom says you are entitled to very few things: a mother who loves you, although I would say two parents who love you, and an opportunity to reap the benefits of your own efforts. Everything else, she claims, are things for which you should be grateful. And while I really do think mom may have carried this one a bit too far, she has a point. People who feel entitled to everything get disappointed a lot. Man, I am struggling in that area so bad in my household with my son. He has this entitlement to him, and I'm just like, I'm trying to navigate it, but I am struggling and I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not doing a great job, which is another reason why I'm trying to read this book, because I'm like, Judge might have some answers. I can feel myself not, I need rules. I need like more structure. The problem is that sometimes it is hard to tell the difference between what you are actually owed and what you simply want. In order to in order to avoid confusing the two, you must keep a limited, clearly defined, and specific list of entitlements in your head. That way, the next time you feel abused or misused, you can return to that list and see if the thing you've been denied is on it. If not, it might be best to just get over it. Now, certainly, you have the right to want things in life and to be disappointed when you don't get them. But while you're busy getting agitated, always ask yourself these questions. What does the size of the thing that is so upsetting to me say about how small I am? And what mountain will fall down around me if I don't get what I want this time? Case in point, I read an article in my local paper about a girl whose father took a school district to court because they wouldn't let his daughter on the soccer team. The fact that they missed the sign-up deadline because they were vacationing in Canada was not a consideration. It was the fact that she couldn't have something that she really wanted that dictated this man's response. Rule number 28. Increase your nonsense threshold. If you look for insult everywhere you go, that's exactly what you'll find. Judging things and finding fault is basic to human nature. Unfortunately, such judgments can keep you from enjoying new and different things that really can't do you any harm. They also add new items to your worry quotient that really shouldn't rate, thus making your life seem more precarious and beleaguered than it really is. It's the first time I ever seen that word in my life. Jacob! That is right. So relax, get over it, and realize that sometimes you have to work to make it not matter. Case in point, Gary Larson, the cartoonist who created The Far Side, put out several collections of his work, one of which, The Prehistoric of the Far Side, a 10-year anniversary exhibit. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh. Nice job. You'd think it was an elephant. Don't forget to shut the door before you lay down. So silly. Hello. If you want to get it for yourself, had a whole section on negative responses he's received to his cartoons he drew. You would be amazed at how indignant people can manage to get over a cartoon. In it, he shared a letter from the Jane Goodall Institute about a cartoon that depicted a gorilla removing a blonde hair from another gorilla. The caption read, well, another blonde hair. Conducting a little more research with that Jane Goodall tramp. The institute, which bore Miss Goodall's name, wrote in to express its outrage at Mr. Larson for referring to such a renowned scientist as a tramp. In it, they use the words atrocity and inexcusable, incredibly offensive, and absolutely stupid. But while the institution was so busy taking offense, Miss Goodall herself was simply laughing. She liked it so much, she had the cartoon printed on t-shirts that were sold by her institute for fundraising purposes. That's so awesome. What? You slamming your head on the table again. Hello. Man, I know if I did that snorting thing, I could clear this out, but I don't want to do that. I'm like, is it a sickness? Is it allergies? Like, what is that? It's rough. Not as rough as my kids, though. My kids look like they got punched in the face every time. Every time the summer hits, because the allergies do that to them. Rule number 29. Watch your superlatives. Superlatives. Watch your superlatives. I went to see you drain your... No. But for $20, no. You can talk yourself in and out of all kinds of moods without ever meaning to do it. Listen to yourself sometime when you speak and pay attention to the kind of words you use. Examine your working vocabulary for evidence of the extreme. Plow through all of your daily commentary for unnecessary value, judgments, and negative assumptions. That's perfect. That's perfect. I love it. Superlatives. Thank you. That's a big word for Elmo. Plow through all of your daily commentary for unnecessary value judgments. Unnecessary value judgments and negative assumptions. That's so good. That's so good. What does your daily, that's gonna be a what do you call a writing prompt in our journal, you guys. I need like 3. What does your daily commentary sound like? What does your daily commentary sound like? That sounds good. That's good. You're always learning. It's more like superlatives. Superlatives. It means something of the highest quality. Okay, thank you. Watch your superlatives. Is it superlatives or superlatives? How are you now? I can see that. I can see that, Jacob. For example, do you use the word blame when in reality you are only talking responsibility? Was the project really crippled by someone's failure, or was it simply set back? Was the incident truly a tragedy or just an unfortunate circumstance? And what about the word outrage? Since when is it an everyday expression that applies to everything? Patience is a virtue.
Come and turn on my stove. Come and turn on my stove. Oh, you know it.
Still reading. Is this school because I graduated? Oh, it's reading is fundamental and it expands your vocabulary, and it also is going to help me with my public speaking, which for some reason my brain still shuts off. Every time somebody's in front of me, I'm like, I got this. I got this. It's literally such a simple, easy script. How are you? How's your day? I do my best. There's like a couple people that come into the store that I have to, I haven't got the I haven't got the talking timing down yet. So, like for example, a man was buying a energy drink, and he must have got self-conscious or something about it because he was like, I know, I drink a lot of these. And then he goes on to tell me a story about Pepsi. He's like, I used to drink a lot of Pepsi, because my grandma used to have it. And as he's telling his story, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I start talking over him. And I could just feel the awkwardness. And every time this man comes in, it's like that every single time. And so he's like, yeah, because grandmas like to spoil people. And as he's like mid sentence walking to the door saying this, I'm like, have a great day. I was like, so obnoxious. Literally. I am working on it. I'm working on it, but it's so frustrating to try so hard and to put so much effort into just basic communicating and emotional intelligence, and then to feel like it's game time and I'm in front of a real person. I got this. And then to just be like, shut up, Cheyenne. Don't scream over them. Don't talk loudly over them. Listen to what they're saying. And then you can say a sentence back, maybe. But I don't want to. I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm not in like interested or I'm not listening. you know, so I try to be like, mm-hmm, uh-huh. And I am listening, but also in the back of my head, my mind's going, make sure that like the way that they're looking at you seems like they think that you're not interested. And I'm like, why would they're middle of a sentence. How could they even think that I'm not interested because they're mid sentence? There's no way for them to think that. But my brain's over here like, well, we're doing it. Oh, kiddo, what are you doing? You want me? Okay. Did you just poop? Are you pooting on me?
No, I poop.
You just came to poot on me?
No, I poop.
Okay. Well, is it cuddle time? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cuddle time.
Yeah.
You look like you need some lotion.
My money is sorry now.
It is clean. Would you like me to get it for you?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want to sit on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you got it, or would you like my help?
No.
Okay. I'm coming. Oh, yeah. All right, kiddo. Where should I put it? Where do you want it?
Right next to you. Next to you.
You want it next to me?
To you, to you. No,
You sitting with me? Are you gonna listen to me read? Okay. Please be patient. Well, I don't have my diagnosis for that yet, so I am not actually going to be speaking on that as much as I was, because I don't know. People always give me crap about it, and I'm like, you know, I would hate to be wrong, you know. But also, I'm in my body, so people can think what they want. It does have Minnie on it.
Yeah. It's your original.
Still kicking myself about that interaction with that woman last night, though. I really wish I would have handled that differently. Because she didn't leave. I know she didn't leave thinking men's mental health is more important. You know, and it is, and that's the point, is men's mental health awareness and the awareness of the fact that is important. So me making I didn't mean it in a snotty way, but it totally came out in a snotty way. And it was from my somewhat, like, I got a little offended. I was like, you know, I got a little offended, and I could have handled it better, because it's like Judge says, when, you know, she has a person in front of her, she can send them to jail and them just think, oh, she's just a biatch, you know. Or she could speak in a way that enlightens that person. So I missed an opportunity to speak in a way or a manner that enlightened her, or made her leave thinking, like, thinking more, versus, you know, saying, well, my uncle blew his brains out. You know, that was not tactful, and I'm sure she just left thinking, like, I'm a B word. So I don't know, though. I don't know.
I don't want to eat apples.
I think that you think of what other people think of you too much. Don't you think? Oh, yeah, I do. It's not so much I'm thinking about what they're thinking about me. It's more so I think about what they're feeling, I guess. Like, I can see certain feelings in people that I can't understand fully. Like, I can see confusion, or I can see people's spirit go from, you know, enthusiastic, or, you know, enthusiastic to kind of like, oh, they don't care. You know, I can see that change in people, and I'm like, I do care. You know, my face might look different, you know, or it's just so weird. It's so weird. But yes, that is exactly how the autistic creators that I watch explain like social cues. You're not responsible for their feelings. Always a mother. Yeah. What are you doing, weirdo? I'm not responsible for their feelings. This is true. But people don't remember what you say most of the time. They usually remember how you make them feel. And I am not responsible for their feelings, but it would be ignorant to not acknowledge that I have an influence on the way people feel around me, and to value that influence, which is why we're trying to work on our emotional intelligence. Mayo. How much for a private bedtime story read? Okay. I see you. I can see you. If you call all misfortune horrific and every upset traumatic, your base emotionality will go up and your tolerance level down. Next thing you know, you will be getting upset over smaller and smaller things. There was a letter written in our local newspaper who suggested that people who smoke cigarettes ought to have their children taken away. Now, you really have to ask yourself at some point, is this really the way we want to go? Rule number 30, globalize your pain quotient. This one is simple. You do not live in Afghanistan or in the drought-ravaged Sudan. And yes, the lady in front of you has 30 coupons, a personal check, but no check cashing card, and at least one question about the price of every product in her cart. Case in point, one day while I was standing in the checkout line at the grocery store, I became so visibly agitated that the man behind me tapped on my shoulder and told me that such delays were just God's way of letting some trouble elsewhere pass you by. That is so cute. But also, I believe that. You know, like, it's like when you're late somewhere, or you know, like you're at a traffic stop, you could be like, oh gosh, this is so irritating. I'm late. And I try to say, especially since my mom told me not to rush, you know, her when she did, that you don't know what was going to happen. What if you know, there was a car accident or something that was going to happen if you had been 2 minutes earlier, and that was how it, you know, missed you. But yeah, that's so sweet. Like, right there, case in point, I'm going to start sounding like Judge. Case in point, Judge was standing in line and getting irritated that she was having to wait in line. Was it his business? Was it the man behind her's business to tell her that? I'll read it again. But it wasn't his business based on that quote. Other people's feelings aren't your business. But I guarantee you in the next couple of sentences we're going to learn that had an impact on Judge. Not only in that moment where she probably felt a lot better in that line, she probably felt an immediate sense of ease, but it was important and impactful enough for her to remember and put into her book that is going to last forever, that is going to help me and so many other people that actually read this book. And that is the influence that you can have on people. You don't have to. It's not your responsibility, you know. But that's arguable. You know, is it a moral obligation or not? It's not. You can be stupid or you can be smart. You can be you know, a hothead, or you can be cool as the summer day, or I don't know what she says. She says something really cool. Cool as a cucumber. You know, we all get to choose how we want to be. And I am just saying that I would like to be impactful and influential in my experience on this planet. Apples and bananas, yeah.
Yeah, it's two.
Yeah, they sing so many songs. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Gonna go for a barefoot walk to the garden after gym foot care. That's awesome. Good reading and have a great day. Have a great day. All right. Thanks for coming in. What you doing? I'm almost done with this page and then we're going to hang out. Okay? Can you go clean up the crackers on the ground for me in your room? They're already clean? Okay. Can you pick up the toys in there for me?
No, they're already
Okay, they're already clean. You heard it.
Yeah. And my house is the toys in too.
Okay. I became so...
These are Willow's toys.
Yes. I became so
These
visibly
are Willow's
agitated.
toys.
Yes.
This is Willow's
Can you
toy.
go give it to Willow
Here.
and shut the door for her? I became so visibly agitated that the man behind me tapped on my shoulder and told me that such delays were just God's way of letting some troubles elsewhere pass you by. There could be a traffic accident out there, he said, and that he's trying to keep you from. How ludicrous was my initial thought, mumbling to myself about the masses' ability to believe anything. I dismissed his comment as a testament to his lack of understanding. But as I stood there, becoming increasingly agitated by this circumstance over which I had not control, I watched him out of the corner of my eye. This man, who I'd been mocking in my mind, was calm and relaxed, while I was half out of my mind. That's when I realized that, all my educated rationality notwithstanding, this man and I were in the same predicament, but I was the one who was upset. I guess I misjudged. But she did. She took a little time to get there. But she did realize, look, I'm in control of myself. It didn't have to bother me that lady said what she said, or that situation went the way it did. We aren't in control of how people are or situations, but we are in control of ourselves, how we feel and how we respond. Such delays were just God's way of letting some trouble elsewhere pass you by. And while I was never able to accept his theory, I came up with one of my own. I universalized my pain quotient and pulled up the relevant facts. During the 15 minutes or so I stood in line to buy food for my kids, there was another mother somewhere holding a starving baby that she loved as much as I did my own. With that, I lost the urge to be angry, picked up an Inquirer, and kept myself amused until it was my turn at the register. All right. Hi, I'm Will.
I want a new one.
Talk to you guys soon. I'm going to get you one. Let's go. We got to go and hang out and have fun. I will see you guys in a bit for our goals after we play and hang out for a little bit. So hope you have a great day, and I will see you later. We'll have a fasting update and do our daily goals. Bye. She says bye.